Hello, friends. How are you? It is time for your favorite 15 to 20 minutes, if we're lucky. Time of the week, it's ReaLAWstate with Patti and Kate. Woo, woo! We are so excited to be here with you. And, I think we told you last week that Patti and I had gone on a strategic retreat where we got together and kind of reviewed where we were at because we've been so busy with our transition. And then we started saying, like, let's think, and we just really mapped out where we're going and how we're going and what's working and what's not working. And, it was one of those things like when you stop for a minute out of your crazy world and say, it's time to analyze here a little bit.
Yeah.
And so I thought it'd be really kind of fun to, talk with you a little bit about, it's our 6-month anniversary. We started both ReaLAWstate right at the beginning of the year. So it's actually almost into the 7th month, but, so what's been going on? And I thought I would kind of interview Patti because, people are used to me. Like I was the founder of Bold Moves ReaLAWstate. And so you're kind of used to me. And so I thought it'd be kind of fun if we got to peek under the hood of where Patti's been, right? So first of all, congratulations, Patti, on an amazing launch into a very exciting future for Bold ReaLAWstate.
Yeah, well, right back at you. I think it's been pretty awesome. I think it took maybe longer than we thought. There's just a lot of moving pieces, a lot of details in the world of real estate registration, and getting up and going, and of course insurance, which rules the world.
Yes.
So it's been a lot, but it's been a crazy collaboration that's been a lot of fun, and I think we're on a great path.
Yeah. So just so you know, so we incorporated at the beginning of the year. Then the border registration took a while. Insurance took the insurance came up a little bit later. And so these kinds of things, we've been bits and pieces doing it. We have been operating as Bold ReaLAWstate, for, in our brains, I think, since it started.
In our brains.
So we've been doing it forever. So what have been some of the highlights? What have been some of the surprises to you? As I say, we partnered up. And so this is a new world for her. She was an attorney, badass, get it done kind of attorney. And so this is a little bit different, getting into the real estate world. And of course, she was a real estate attorney, so she knows about real estate. And actually, the one big thing, and I want you to start talking about this, one of the things that she shared with us is that one of the reasons that made her want to do this was because she saw really good real estate and she saw not so good real estate or real estate professionals. Yeah. Right. And that was one of the things that, something that gets you going is either really super experience or like bad experiences.
Yeah.
Am I right?
No, absolutely. And so, when you're in the real estate closing, you're towards the end of the transaction, you're working on the title, trying to working with the bank, getting all the documents, bringing it together. So you're talking to the buyer or the seller. And I don't know, Kate found this surprising because I don't think a lot of agents know how much the buyers and the sellers tell me off the record. So, and I mean, I see the transaction. I know the agents who are on it. I know that I'm going to get the smoke start. I know I'm going to get this. I know I'm going to get that. But I've learned who the agents are that I don't want to work with, and it drives me crazy. So a lot of times I'd hear from the sellers, I wouldn't list with him again. I wouldn't refer him out. Yep. She didn't help me. What did she do to earn the money? Or, who were they advocating for? Like, she was working for the other side. She wasn't working for me. Yep. So I hear that so much. And, some of it is, people, they're just some angry people. But some of it's
stressful.
It's stressful. And it's very emotional.
We don't get people at their best, know? So did you ever have that moment of saying, like, I could do this better?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
Well, this is ridiculous. And it seems like people, like more and more agents are sliding by doing the least amount to collect the most amount of money, which part of me gets, right? Yeah. As a capitalist, I get, you want to make money in a short amount of time, but you're not doing your job and you're not servicing the seller or the buyer. And that has become acceptable. Why is it acceptable that people can do less than they used to and make more money? Like, do your job. Like, it makes me crazy. So I was like, and there's some agencies, again, there's some that do it awesome. They do it so well, and I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to be a part of one, and of course, Kate's been doing it forever, and Kate is awesome. Kate knows how to do it great, and I want to be a part of that and build that, and I want that to become, I want excellence to be the new norm. I want that to be what everybody strives for.
Right, and I think that excellence is expected is one of the one of the things that we talked about as part of our mission.
Yeah,
is that you should expect excellent behavior from real estate professionals.
Yes,
and so that was
it's your biggest investment.
It is
your biggest investment, whether you're selling or you're buying. You should have competent representation from the very beginning.
Yes,
who can bring you from A to Z, and you can feel good about it, even when things go wrong. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Right, and honestly, it's when she was telling me that, because I mean I have long said that a rising tide elevates all boats, and I want to be part of making our real estate profession better.
Yeah.
And that's been part of my own personal mission for a very long time.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of interesting when you're talking about people who are starting to slide on that, because maybe they can sneak away, maybe they can get this one done, this one can get through a little easy, and they can kind of cut the corners.
Yeah.
But will that person recommend or review you?
No, your business isn't growing, people.
Right, and will they give you recommendations, and will they be ambassadors for you out there? And I don't think so. And Patti was kind enough to align with one of her networking people, a guy named Don Wilson. Yeah, okay, Don Wilson. Like I feel like when I said that, I was like Mr. Wilson on Home Improvement,
No.
and I'm like, no, it's not that. So Don Wilson, and he has a business called Prospecting Intel.
Yeah,
and he talked so much about the sphere of influence in our people that we have, and he's like, and I think he called it like, there's gold in those hills, meaning that we have what we need to be successful.
Yeah.
And if we just took care of our clients better, we wouldn't have to be trying to look elsewhere. And and so he spoke my language for sure. And it was,
because if you do a good job, that person's going to tell 10 people who's going to tell 10 people. If you do a crappy job, that person's going to tell 10 people who's going to tell 10 people. Like, where's your business going to go?
And I always say that, I'm like, when a negative experience happens, I'm like, that's going to take at least 10 positive experiences to neutralize that. And I'm like, if it's even neutralizable,
right?
And I don't even think it is anymore. I think that people's appetite for forgiving and saying, hey, it's no big deal, is gone. I think they're on to the next thing. So I don't even think it's redeemable in some ways.
No.
Anyway, so that was kind of one of the things, your big why for coming into this industry. Yeah. And I think that that's awesome. And I mean, you guys with ReaLAWstate, this has been going on for what, 4 or 5 months. So a lot of the things that we've talked about, and how important having that legal perspective on this industry has been so important and so cool and so special.
Yeah. And it's a lot of things that maybe agents wouldn't think of.
Right.
When I was in law school and I was learning about contracts, we learned every detail of a contract, what can happen in those. And I think you get maybe an overview of that when you're an agent, but you don't really know what the consequences are. And so maybe you're not as careful drafting, and it's no reflection on necessarily the agent, because how would you know, right? So you need somebody who knows those things,
like what it means
in that direction.
And what it means. Yeah. I mean, we spent 2 months going through the purchase and sales.
Yeah.
2 months of training on a Monday morning training, going through the purchase and sales agreement. 2 months. Okay. And so, it's just so, like, as I say, like, I didn't even know what I didn't know, until you came. Yeah. And it was like, oh my gosh, like, that makes so much sense. And the depth, I think, of that knowledge is that when we say a smarter transaction and smarter real estate, we really mean it. And I think it's something that's been huge.
Yeah. So, and what I like about it too is when we have these Monday morning meetings, and there was so much energy. I love energy. I just love energy. I think it's why we came together. So,
I know.
But there's so much going around the room, because obviously I have my legal perspective on it, and what, I'm always thinking worst case scenario, you end up in a court of law, what's going to happen, right?
Right.
But then hearing the agents, either feedback or pushback that, well, as a practical matter, this, you're in the trenches, you're on site, this is happening, how do I handle it? And so getting that, it's been this great collaboration, and it has been back and forth around the table. It's awesome.
It's high energy. As a matter of fact, there was one agent who hasn't been in a couple months to the meeting, and he went up to Patti after, and what did he say to you?
Yeah, so he comes up, we hadn't seen him, he has another job as well. So he comes up and he's like, wow, is this how all the Monday morning meetings have been? Like, it's so content, deep, and it's just the energy, and everybody's just, talking around the room. I said, yes, that's exactly what you've been missing out on. So yeah, that was kind of cool, because that's the direction we wanted it to go in. And that
was like an unsolicited, because we feel it, right? Because we're the disciples. So it's like, so to hear somebody that's been here and say, I see a marked change in the internal part of both, which is the cool thing that, again, it's hard for us to measure.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, we obviously have our skewed views. We think we're great.
We do. We know it. Right. Yeah. So what has been your biggest positive surprise? What has been did you say I never would have thought, fill in the blank?
I never thought I would be on videos every Sunday.
She did, but she was a natural. So I said to her, I said, we really need to, one to many, we have to amplify our message.
Yeah.
And show you what's special about this, And so that is hilarious.
Never thought.
Because she's so good. You are so good at it,
Well, thank you.
I think she's the sleeper star,
Well, at least my eyes aren't darting all over the place.
I know. She's like, where do I look? Where do I look?
Like a meth addict anymore.
I know. Well, so it is. It's funny, but you have done phenomenal with that. And I just think that it's been, again, the messaging, and people go back and they tell me they binge watch these.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I binge watch those because I learned something in that one that I just watched just to be nice because it showed up in my feed. Yeah. And now I got to go back and I got to watch all of them because I don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
And
it's funny because I went to the bank last week, and last week we had done the solar talk, and I was at the counter, and she's watching this, and she said to her husband, we have solar, do we have a lien on our property? And he's like, we do not have a lien on the property. She goes, well, I'm watching this thing, and the attorney says we probably have a lien on our property. Nope, we don't have a lien on the property. So as I'm standing there at the teller counter, and I said, well, did you buy him? And she said, no. And I said, well, then you have a lien on your property. So I said, what's your address? I looked it up on my phone, looked at the registry. I said, yep, you have a lien on your property. Let your husband know.
Well, that's just it. That's why we're doing this. Is a service, to our friends out there, as well as, again, hopefully, letting you know that there is a better way to do business, Right. And so I'm going to tell you my biggest surprise.
I was going to ask you, but go ahead.
Oh, well, I said I was going to interview her, but, I have to talk. So my biggest surprise is, well, I've told you one is the support, just having the support of having that person to lean on. And just, again, one of my biggest surprises was, as I've said to you guys before, I feel like I'm the one texting her the most saying, I'm not sure of this, in the past was, I didn't have that person there. Yeah. So, I didn't even know I needed it. You know what I mean? Because I felt pretty confident in my thing, but it's just so good to have that. So that's a personal thing. That's my best. My best thing from a different thing is the freshness of ideas that you bring, right? And because I've been looking down my real estate with my real estate goggles on, and just a couple instances, so there's a Red Sox game that happens and Patty's like, we should go. I'm like, yeah, we should go. Right. I've gone in the past and I'm thinking nothing of it. Next thing I know, we've got these amazing t-shirts with a bold logo on the back. We are noticed by all of the Boston people. And I got tons of comments on it from my friends around the state. And it's oh my God, I didn't see that opportunity with the fresh eyes. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then there's been another couple of times, we had a speaker in here, as we said, and he brought a fresh approach. Now, did he say much of the things that I don't say? Not very much, but guess what? People heard it. Yeah. So it's the delivery. And so it's having the depth to be able to do things a little bit differently, and then just little things like the logo on the back, the walls being white, the contact, we have a dry erase board over here, which is I'm as you guys know, I'm a fanatic on that. Yeah. Just small things that you need to get somebody fresh in with fresh eyes, in whatever your business is, in order to say, hey, what about this? And look at it. And so,
but at the same token, I think probably another one of my surprises, not that I ever thought you weren't open to new ideas, but how open you have been. Because this has been your baby since 06 or something like that. And here I come in, and I've never sold a house in my life. And so I'm coming in with these ideas, and some are not great, but we've been able to talk through those. And I think it's this kind of connection of the energy that we have. And I highly recommend anybody going into business out there, make sure you match up your energy, because
we do. And we've known each other, and we've worked together on a lot of other things in the past. It's just in this capacity has been something we had trust, and we knew that we respected each other. Yeah. So that was it. I think that was a big thing. We hit the ground running. We hit the ground running. And we also made it a rule of being able to say anything we want and make sure that we get to be able to work through it. And for people out there thinking of business, like that is one of my biggest suggestions to you, is always keep dedication to open-mindedness. So I agree. But you know what? I think it's been a blast.
Oh my gosh.
And I just feel like now I'm at this, like, now I feel like a raging lunatic. That I want people to say, like, you can have this. I want to say to agents out there, like, you can have this kind of support.
Yes.
Like, it's built in. Like, you know, you can have this. Like, when I see our new agents, when I see them like light up the freaking room with their confidence, I'm like, you can have this. So that's part of what I think is pretty awesome. Cool. Like, that's been another highlight for me. That's been a huge highlight. So there's that piece. Like, I want everyone to have what we have. You know what I mean? I really do.
And we have these agents that just want to soak it up too. So we have these brand new agents. They came in. I called them in a different day. I said, hey, let's have a sit down and come up with some new ideas about X, and which we'll tell you about later. But anyways, so they came in, you know, and they had the laptops ready. And again, just the energy and just pounding out the ideas. And it's been awesome.
And you just gave me chills. So anyways, and you know, for a long time when I'd have my school, I'd be like, well, we're not really hiring, we're not promoting right now, and because we didn't have that next place to go. So I am so like blown away by that feeling. So that was one of the cool things. You know, and the other thing is I think about, which is who, you know, my brain I care about so much is our consumers, you know, our clients. And just to be able to say, like, we are caring for you. You know, we can take care of this with you. Like, we have the resources to find out what it is that you need. Right. And it's just like, that is something that the more and more complicated it gets, you know, the more that we, you know, like I just sent Patty a list of all the things that the Board of Registration changed. I'm like, let's dig in. Let's dig in, and let's be the go-to source for this too, for our realtor friends, so that we can then be the go-to source for the people who are out there.
And it's part of that kind of commitment to excellence. Like, excellence should be the ordinary. The ordinary shouldn't be the ordinary. So it's that commitment to excellence. We're going to take that, incorporate it, and knock it out of the park. And that's what we're going to do.
And we're doing already. And I hope that you guys are feeling it. And can you see who's on here?
Oh, Dave.
Hey, Dave, how are you, Dave? Nice to talk with you. I'll see you, I think, Wednesday. So Wednesday, you're coming to my lunch Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday is Lunch and Learn for all of our awesome people out there, so that they can avoid real estate jail. Maybe you should come. Maybe you can help us avoid real estate jail. You've been avoiding it with me, helping me avoid it. So anyways, guys, we are so appreciative of you joining in. You know, we didn't realize that when we started this, that we'd get the numbers of people who watch this in the course of a day, week, month, whatever. And we and the response that we get from people. I think it's just so cool.
And the response has been good too from my family. It goes, well, you don't look so spazzed out anymore.
Mine don't tell me that. Mine are like going, where's she going now? And they're like, you know, another video. They're like, just don't mention me. You know, my husband's like, oh, good. I'm glad Patty's there. Now I'm not the butt of all the jokes, you know? Anyway.
They even tell me what to wear and what not to wear anymore.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. You know, solid colors, right? Anyway, so thank you for everything.
No, thank you.
You have been amazing, and I only see better and better things for you, for you,
and for you.
Yes, because ultimately it's all about you.
Yes,
right. It's all about you. So, friends, goodbye. Thank you, Patty, and we will see. Actually, Patty's going to have a guest on because I'm going to be on vacation next week. So someone's going to be here instead of me.
You're going to give me an idea. Who am I going to bring on, or what am I going to talk about?
What do you guys want to know? What do you guys want to know? I have a few ideas. All right, I'll tell her my ideas. I'll tell you guys first. All right, we'll see you later.